Hello and good evening everyone, and welcome to round three of the SSRI GT3 season 6 here at Imola. My name's Ryan Walker, and alongside me is Frank Hawk with Chris Hill behind the scenes doing his magic on the camera. And Frank, Imola, a fantastic track steeped in history, and it's just one of those iconic tracks that you, you just have to have a deep love for.
Yeah, I know I do. I think this is the one track when I started driving in ACC, where I just kept on lapping. It sort of has a really nice flow to it, and I really love this track. It's one of my favorites, I think, together with Watkins Glen. It also has this nice flow, and I think this is sort of similar. So yeah, it's a track I really enjoy.
And yeah, as we're just coming to basically the closing stages of practice at the moment. We're three rounds into the season so far. Well, 3 rounds into the season tonight with the race at Imola taking place. But so far this season, Frank, it's been good racing in the tier 1 and tier 2, and the championship. It's pretty much tough to call who could take it with just 2 rounds remaining after tonight, with the next round taking place at Laguna Seca, and then the last round taking place at Indianapolis. But as you see there right now, we've got the championship standings with the Dutchman Clip Barney leading the way.
Yeah, he's done excellent, I think, especially last week in the reverse grid race, where he really managed to climb up back to, as you see here, 8th position, which I think was one of the highest to get back from, because he was almost starting last. So yeah, brilliant job by him. Seems to be quick again as well, noticing from the practice that he's been quite quick again as well here. So yeah, hopefully for him a really good race. And unfortunately, Justin de Jong is not there this evening. He's missing the race. And also, and he's crying about it, is Chris Pinchback. His DD1 crashed today, so or died on him. So yeah, that's a shame. It's technical failures are always a bit of a bother.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Chris. He's one of those names that he's always been there and thereabouts. But as you see there, as Frank said, that Justin de Jong is not around tonight, so it could give people behind Barney an opportunity to try and close that gap. And as you see there, you've got Sam Spenkelink and Regan Mitchell and Andrea Erzo, and yeah, those names could take the opportunity to close that gap to Barney and overtake Justin in the championship. So still got a couple of rounds left after tonight to basically sort the championship out. So yeah, it's hard to predict who will take the championship, but it should be a great way to close out the season.
Yeah, it should. Also, we do have one dropped round in this season, so that's unlike last season where we just had the 5 rounds. Now we, of course, have the sort of 5 rounds but 7 races, so you can drop one of the results, which would have helped perhaps Justin to actually be a bit higher in the standings at the end. But yeah, let's see how that all evolves, because you can always say only after the last race who's actually winning. Except if Clyde now runs away with it again, then it might be difficult for the other guys to keep or to pick it up and score more points.
Absolutely. As we switch over to the semi-pro championship, and as you see right there, that's only a couple of points separate first and second, with the
And
third
third,
place not too far behind. So the semi-pro class championship in tier one is definitely definitely loads of names in the mix. But who could win that championship? Who knows?
yeah, there's also a bit surprising that there are the two Porsches in front. Because I don't think it's even that used that much in the pro class. So yeah, good results by those guys, and looking forward to how they can perform here. Because in the practice I've seen a couple of names that you wouldn't perhaps expect to be this high up, but they were doing really well on this circuit. So yeah, very curious how it will pan out. It's a track with I think some really specific needs perhaps in the setup, because you need to get your setup reasonably stable, because there are a couple of corners in there, and especially with the high curves, where you need to take that into account with your setup as well to make sure that you don't spin out. I think this is one of the tracks where I probably have my most spins, just trying to get out of a corner, getting a bit too much on the throttle and just losing the car. So when I've now sort of tried to develop a bit of a setup that that actually helps me not to spin, perhaps a bit slower, but spinning out is always slower than just a small amount of track loss per lap. So
Absolutely. As just coming to the closing stages of practice with just around about 1 minute remaining, and talking about Imola as well, with it being such a great track, why don't we take a look at the track, Frank, and get a feel for the track?
Yeah, it's unfortunately we don't have the real track guide as we usually have. So we have a 3-sector 19-corner track, which is a track in Imola, also now called track of Autodromo Enzo and Dino Ferrari. In sector 1 you go through, as we would like to call it, Variante Bastarda, or Bassa, or Vermelis, sort of how you want to call it. Then the one big track, or one big change from the original circuit, is Variante Tamburello, which is famous for actually the loss of Senna's life at that moment in '94, I believe. That's corner 2, 3 and 4. Then you get a small straight to Variante Villeneuve, which is corner 5 and 6, where you need to try and keep some speed. Then you have an almost hairpin called Tosa, corner 7, with a really small corner 8, and then you go into left-hander Piratella, which is also a corner where you try to keep as much speed as you can, but it's very easy to sort of get a track limit there. Then like full throttle into corner 10, and then one of the more famous corners called Acque Minerali, corner 11, 12, and even a corner 13, which isn't really a corner. And that's where you need stability in your car. It's really a corner combination that has a lot of height difference. You're cornering when you're still braking, and it's really tricky. Then trying to get as much speed, because you go uphill at the end of corner 12, so you need to try and keep some speed to go to Variante Alta, which is really a really tight chicane with really large curbs. And I think we will see people just trying to launch it there, to try and get as much speed as possible, especially during qualification. So you need to set a bank lap and then just try and launch it over those curbs and see if you make it through the next straight into a really small corner 16, and then you go into the final 2 bigger corners called Rivazze. 17 and 18, both left-hand corners as well, because this is one of the tracks that's counterclockwise, where you try and get some speed in still, but you really need to take care, because this is a track also old style with the gravel traps and grass, So you need to be aware. Then you go back on the straight to corner 19 just before the finish line, and yeah, that's one lap of Imola.
Yeah, excuse me, as qualifying's just got underway, and yeah, for anyone that's new to the series, as we watch Cameron Hunt at the moment, anyone watching the series for the first time, tonight there will be there is a mandatory pit stop, but you do not have to take tyres. You can just take fuel only. But don't be surprised if you see some of the front runners try to go as long as possible, like we saw or we have seen so far this season with people going on a long stint or a long run, and they pretty much pitting towards the end of the race, and just taking a wee drop of fuel just to try and minimise the time loss and they try and maintain the track position. But as we ride on board with Cameron Hunt at the moment coming through the chicane, and this chicane, Frank, it's one of those chicanes that you have to get right to try and carry the speed, but you've got to be very, very careful because I believe, you can get a cut track warning, and cut track warnings around here, you probably think, oh, it shouldn't be that that easy to get cut track warnings. Well, some places it's it's more easy than you think.
Yeah, but also, I mean, if it isn't a cut track warning, then you just hit the gravel a tiny bit and you immediately lose quite a bit of speed. So if it isn't one thing, it's the other. If you just go out of bounds. So yeah, but I do love this circuit, but the curbs are deadly, and yeah, you need you need to take care of that with your suspension, or you need to. Because if you don't do that, you really need to take lines out of those curbs. So you can't take the sort of inner apex curbs, and that just costs you so much time on this track. So I think it's a balancing act for most of the people in their setup.
Yeah, I was going to say, from my experience of racing around this track, it's the way I've always done a setup is try and set the car up to be stable, not set up for outright speed, but just stability over the curbs, and especially around this section we're coming up to now, this uphill section up to the chicane is probably one of the corners I like to set the car up for, just to make sure it's nice and stable, and basically it takes the curbs nice and basically nice and stable, as I get my words right. But it's one of those things, you want to set the car up to be quick, I guess, but you want the car to be stable at the same time.
Yeah, and also because if you want to be able to overtake, especially that last part after the Variante Alto into Rivazza, if you just can take a bit more speed over the Variante Alto, so the big chicane with the bumps, yeah, that can help you actually try and do a pass on Rivazza. So, and it's not a track that's really easy to overtake on. So you need to have a bit of a speed difference to be able to really overtake people. People do make mistakes here quite easily, quite often, at least on the level I'm racing, and then some, and then yeah, that's where you need to be patient as well. Just try and put some pressure on someone, try to let them make mistakes, and then try and pass after that.
Absolutely. As we're looking at one of the names that was top of the lap time standings in practice, Michael Thomas, and yeah, it's up at the top, and one of those names that's been around on the ACC platform from quite some time. He's raced in various leagues, and I believe he also streams or has streamed on YouTube or Twitch in the past. So good to see Michael up there at the top at the moment, but he's not too far behind him as Hunt, Barney, and Spanklink as well. So people that are up there in the championship, and like we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, Justin Dion is not around tonight, so it's a perfect opportunity for other drivers to step up to the plate and put in a championship challenge. And also, excuse me, also as well, you have a drop round in this championship, so if you have to miss a round or you have a bad round, it's not all doom and gloom.
Oh, true. And one thing we need to mention perhaps is that during the practice people, or at least Michael, was able to hit a 1:39.9. I think the official lap time of GT3 here is a 1:39.6 or something, if I remember well. So yeah, it's that's actually really close. I think it's even one of the circuits where people normally, I think in sim racing you see that people are actually quicker than the quickest lap in real life, and this is one of the circuits where it's really hard to do apparently. So that's always interesting, I find.
Absolutely, as Martin Ulrich jumps to the top of the standings now. So yeah, Martin up there giving a challenge as well as Clyde Barney comes across the line. Currently fourth in qualifying at the moment, and yeah, it's good. Like just thinking about it, Frank. What car do you think will suit this track? Obviously, you've got the likes of the Audi, which is it's not known for being very curve friendly, but you've got the like of Aston Martins, as we see here, Marius Dreisig, piloting an Aston Martin, one of my favourite cars on the service, but uh, this is a .4 up at the moment. But as we're just talking about what car to have around here, do you think
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Aston Martin might be one of them?
I think so. I think one of the cars that are able to handle curves well, and those are mostly not the mid-engined cars. So that's the Aston Martins, perhaps the BMW, the Mercedes is famous for actually eating the curves. So you would expect them to be quite high up. And yeah, in my experience anyway, the old Ferrari that was just so tricky to drive around here. So the 488. That was a really hard car to drive. And I'm now driving the BMW as well. So I don't know with the new tire format how this track drives with for example the mid-engine cars at the moment. But yeah, in the setup that I now have on the BMW, it's quite nice to drive. Although I did get launched once in a while already on the curbs. So there's something I'm doing wrong in my damper setups, I think. But yeah, tough luck.
As we look at Richard Pixel at the moment, yeah, currently one of the drivers that's racing the Nissan this season, and good to see a bit of variety in the field. And Pixley as well has not been doing too bad with the Nissan as well. He's been getting some good results, and I think that'll please his team boss, Dries. Hope, so yeah, it'd be good to see Richard get some more good results with the Nissan. So as it comes across the line, and it'll be interesting to see where he goes. He stays 15th.
Yeah, and I also expect quite a few people to be really, really close again on this circuit as well. It's a really nice track where you can, I think if everybody is able to do a decent lap, you can get really, really close lap times as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if quite a few people get into the 140s as well, which I'm not able to do at all. If I ever dive into the 141s, I'm a really happy person. So I think my quickest now has been 142.5 or something like that. I don't know. So, oh, okay. So, yeah. So and on 31st position we have I think Peter van Lieshout, was it? Yeah. He's had a qualifying ban. He's collected too many points on his license. I think 10 points, and then you get a qualifying ban. So yeah, that's unfortunately one of the things that we do to try and keep our racing clean. Is that we if there are any incidents, we look at them with a steward team and then see if if an action needs to be taken or if people can be educated to drive more careful. And then yeah, hopefully that helps out in the long run to get especially since we now have I think a season with a lot of new drivers, is that it helps out people to know what is allowed and what isn't. So unfortunate for Peter, but yeah, it's a track where a lot can happen, and before you know it, you've gained 10 places because of a pile-up somewhere. So
Absolutely. As we look at Patrick Jeffers, and yeah, that's one thing I like about the SSRI as well. Is basically the stewards do such a good job as well of running the series, and it's one of those things that some of the calls or decisions they make, they don't want to do them, but you've got to set a standard and show that uh, you've got to show that you want good driving standards and not the driving standards where people are just going to say like bars people out the way or just the race with no respect for other drivers.
No, and I think if you look at, for example, now the last race on the Red Bull Ring where it was reverse grid, I think that's where it really shows how good people drive. I mean, a lot of people are used to perhaps driving in front and don't have to overtake a lot of people, or aren't really used to people being slower. Yeah, and then it helps you develop racing skills as well. So you need to take a bit more time to actually see how someone drives and then try and pass them later on. So yeah, I think it's a format where we all need to get a bit used to, but I think in the end it really helps us out, and especially people perhaps doing the endurance racing as well. Is that because then especially if it's multi-class, yeah, you need to be aware of people being slower as well. So I think it develops an overall skill, which I think I'm not quite sure if we need to talk about it, but unfortunately last weekend we were supposed to have the 24 hours of the Nordschleife, which fell through because of issues with the Kunos servers during the race. So yeah, that I think was a real shame. I was really looking forward to sort of tune in every once in a while and see how people were doing, and that yeah, in the end failed is a real shame, I think. No, oh, I'm
Sorry about the bit of silence there. We're just listening to something that our director was saying to us. But as we're coming to about just under 7 minutes left in qualifying, so yeah, it's pretty much just looking throughout the field as like being a bit of variety with regards to the car choice. But yeah, I think I was just thinking about passing places around here, Frank, as well. As we're just looking at Partes coming through turn 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think that could be one of the sections where you might see some people trying to make a move, but obviously at the start of the race, all of the cars being bunched up together. Hopefully, everyone's sensible and doesn't try anything silly. But uh, I think there is plenty of passing opportunities, but I think it's probably one of those things you've got to be close to another car in front of you. As we look at Nick Vargas coming across the line now, currently at 11th at the moment, but it looks like as well, just looking at it, I think the Aston Martin could be the car to have, or the BMW as well, because both of those cars are known for being stable. But you never know, you might see something like a Lamborghini or an Audi up there as well, possibly taking the win. But with it being a 75-minute race, it could be a surprise.
Yeah, I'm also I'm praying that it doesn't happen. But also, if you look at the Variante Tamburello, so corner 2, that's officially I think the corner. That's also a tricky corner if you're actually driving next to someone, because the corner before it actually turns into the corner, it sort of creeps up on you and from the outside to the inside. And I've seen quite a few people misjudge where they have their car located at that point. So you might get some hargy-bargy in that corner because people misjudge the space they have to the car next to them. Just because the corner naturally flows a bit more to the left already before you actually have to take the left corner. So, and I've seen quite a few accidents happen there as well in the past. So, but let's hope that doesn't occur. Yeah, so we're still with 13 people within a second, so that's actually still quite good. But then, like the next 5 people are all within a tenth, so yeah, it's really close. So looking at the first 20, that's in 1.2 seconds. That's just again a really close qualifying.
Indeed, and what's the Raymond Day? Raymond Lutin, is it Lutin, Frank? I'm not very.
Lutijn, yeah, I think that was Raymond Lutijn. I would expect him to be called like that.
Yeah, I had to double check the pronunciation of that name before we became live on air, and yeah, as you probably everyone knows, trying to pronounce names right is not really my strong point. So yeah, if anyone wants to send me a message with abuse for not getting names right, you're more than free to. But as what Marius Dryzek coming round the final couple of corners, yeah, currently
10th up,
on the pole
so
position as well, and he's a 10th up as well. Yeah,
that should be a small improvement. Yeah, so a bit over a tenth, so that's now 140.237. So and Michael is, yeah, he's let it go. So we have still 3 minutes to go, so people might go for the ultimate attempt. Do we have a few other people up? Yeah, it's perhaps a 10th, but then they lose it again. So Matt Redfern is a 10th up and Leonardo Wolf Garcia is a 10th up. Now Matt is up 2 tenths, which would set him up. Yeah, that would only take him like 2 places, but then it's lost again. It's also so easy if you just misjudge one of the corners, you immediately or you hit a bump a bit too much, or you just get your wheel into the gravel. Yeah, 2 tenths is easily lost and not that hard to win. Oh, now Cameron Hunt is also 2 tenths up, so he's now in 4th position. So 2 tenths would actually make him 2nd.
absolutely. And yeah, just throw the car
Three
right over,
tenths up, yeah.
just throw the car right over the curves, and yeah, I was just about to say he's two tenths up as well. So if he can keep it tidy through the final couple of corners and on the run up to the hope start finish line, he could improve his position. But as he comes across the line, it'll be his last chance to improve his lap time, I think. So it'll be close,
No, he
but
still has another lap.
so yeah, he has another lap. So yeah, I take that back. Another lap, so he's got another chance to improve his position as he jumps up to second and onto the front row.
Yeah, and really close. 700, so. But now Michael seems to be improving as well. And we have Leonardo Wolf Garcia 3 tenths up at the moment. So that's nice. So if you can keep that up, he'll improve quite a bit as well. Oh, Michael Thomas now up to 2nd. With 100th of a second difference. It's amazing.
Yeah, I was going to say that was the gap between first and second is just is basically yeah mega close, and that's the thing with qualifying. Well, basically the thing with Imola as well. It's basically it provides such even close qualifying. The lap times can be really close.
Yeah,
And
Leonardo also did from 14th to 7th position with his last lap. So that's a big step forward as well.
yeah, I was going to say I think is this the first? Well, for me anyway, it's the first time seeing Leonardo in a McLaren. I could be wrong. I'm sure I've seen him in a Lamborghini or a Ferrari before.
Yeah, he was in the Lambo last season. So
That's what I
this
remember.
season, I think he's been in the uh, McLaren all the time. So, but he's a quick driver, so I think that's invalidated, perhaps. seem to be a bit out of the, yeah, it's red as well, it's 5/10. So do we have any improvements on track? I don't think so at the moment. No, there's nobody improving. Oh, there's one. Let's see. Oh,
Michael Thomas to the top. So Michael Thomas
oh, Michael. Wow.
just pips Dreisig to the pole position, and yeah, look at the gap between them. It's well, that is so tight, and
Pete Marvers is also a 10th up. He seemed to have lost it. Amazing qualifying by them. Because Michael Dreisig, he of Marius, he was also quicker again, by the way. Marius was, there was 100th difference between Marius and Mr. Hunt, what's his first name? Cameron. So yeah, but that was increased to 800, so he's been quicker as hell.
as qualifies just about to come to a close, and I think everyone's pretty much completed their qualifying laps, and yeah, that qualifying is mega close, and so many, basically basically the top positions they were chopping and changing constantly. So I think that's a good indication for tonight.
Yeah, I think the racing, it's such a nice track to race, but a 75-minute race as well. I mean, some strategies can come into play. Sort of, will people actually do the one stopper with a lot of fuel, or just because I'm not quite sure. I haven't really tested any long runs to see what the tire degradation is, because I think I did an 11 laps stint at one point, and I really lost quite a bit of my rear tires. So but I wasn't driving that cleanly. But yeah, if that's that might come into play as well. If you do a one stopper, you have to be very careful on your tire degradation. But I can imagine some people, especially Sam, for example, who's starting from 10th. He's been known to just try and keep it clean and try to do the longer stints. So the last couple of times, I think.
Yeah,
so we could see some different strategies anyway. So that would make it really interesting.
Absolutely, as qualifying's in the books, and we'll go through the qualifying positions. So taking pole position in the BMW is Michael Thomas, with the German and the Aston Martin Marius Dreisig on the front row. And then row 2 you've got Cameron Hunt and Clyde Barney, and then Martin Ulrich, the Danishman, starting 5th, and then Kieran Vidago in 6th, and Regan Mitzo in 7th, with Leonardo Wolf Garcia in 8th. Then Nard Cox in a Lamborghini in 9th, and another Lamborghini with Sam Spenkelink in 10th, and then the Norwegian Teddy Fredriksson in 11th, and then Nick Vargers in 12th. 13th is Marco Taccini, with Rainer Affenstad in 14th, and then 15th you've got Dario Vianello, and then 16th you've got Matt Redfern, and then 17th you've got Stuart Wright, and then Thomas Van Schaik in 18th, and then Milan Duma in 19th, and then 20th is one of the admins for the league, Baz Van Melis, with Richard Pixley for Wild Finch Racing, and 21st of the Nissan. And then 22nd you've got Alexander Tremlin, 23rd you've got Mick Shelikins, and then 24th you've got Nikolai Schroeder, 25th Andy King, and then 26th is Raymond Luyten, and then 27th you've got Aridias Partez, and then 28th you've got Johans Pio Kalvitz, I think.
Jankovic.
I'm not good at this. As 29th is Patrick Treffers, and then rounding out the grid, and rounding out the grid, or just about rounding out the grid, and 30th is Dennis Verhoeven, and then 31st is Peter van
Lieshout.
Lieshout. So
Lieshout. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it.
that's the 31 drivers for this race, and yeah, a start grid of cars, Frank.
Yeah, I'm sort of kind of curious because I didn't see his or the fact that he wasn't racing. Is where's Oliver? So
Let me have a quick
because
look.
he's supposed to battle Bess or Bus. That's the real competition we want to see. And did we say hello to Boss's mom yet? Is she there? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Hi, Boss's mom. So, but yeah, also I think quite a decent qualification by Boss as well. I mean, that's a decent position. So
Yeah, I'm just checking to see where Oliver is. I think he might have said something said something last week about not being able to make it, but I might have missed that.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
I wasn't
unfortunate
aware.
that he's not around tonight, but yeah, hopefully we see him for the final 2 rounds of the season at Laguna Seca and Indianapolis.
Yeah, I still even think that the amount of people that are there, like of the 50 people that are supposed to be there, to have 31 on the grid, that's quite a few people that are not there. So that's a shame. But still, it's gonna be it's not a big track, so 31 people on track will be more than enough to get a lot of good action. So and we're almost starting the session. So
And they're just waiting for the cars to roll off, and as they start rolling off now, and I think this is pretty much just part of the race where everyone just kind of uses the last couple of minutes, say, on this formation lap, just to kind of just do some final checks, kind of just, for me anyway, I just find it helps me relax a little bit and just helps me get into that mindset.
yeah, and it's also quite hot. It's 28 degrees, so it's a really hot track to drive in. So that might not help with the tire deck. I'm not quite sure, but
Yeah, it's good to see. I just noticed that as well. With the ambient temperature being 28 degrees and the track temperature being 36 degrees, I think, yeah, I could definitely play a factor with regards to the tyre wear. And it wouldn't surprise me if maybe some drivers just it wouldn't surprise me if they don't get into a battle and just kind of just take it easy and try and look after the tyres. And if they're just planning to do do the pit stop and not take tyres, I think some drivers might just probably just settle into it and just try to look after the tyres as much as possible, because Imola can be a bit of a tyre killer, and you never know, you might see someone in the field that's good at looking after the tyres, and we know that someone like Sam Spenkelink is notorious for making a pit stop but not taking tyres. So I think it wouldn't surprise me if you see someone like him use that strategy tonight, possibly.
yeah, it might help you get a sort of an overcut. But yeah, it sort of depends how many options he sees perhaps to actually improve in race pace. So if you don't think you're quick enough in race pace, then yeah, getting an optional tire strategy with a longer stint is a really good option, I think. I'm just gonna see how people do here and then base my strategy for next week on that.
Yeah, it's not always a bad thing, as they're coming up out of the chicane and heading down to the final couple of corners, and Michael Thomas.
Ligazza.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's so funny to tell a sort of semi-Italian. It's like your prototype Italian.
yeah. It's good to say Italian tracks do have some cool corner names. That's just yeah. For some reason, anytime I listen to whenever we go to Italian tracks, I always get that. basically, it reminds me of that episode of Family Guy where Peter thinks he's Italian, but is moved back to the accent, and everyone's starting to move up now and bunch up together, and yeah, not in a few seconds' time we will be underway. But this is the moment where you start getting a bit of a shaky foot because you don't want to go over the speed limit before the race starts. Otherwise, you get a drive-through penalty or a stop-and-go penalty. I can't remember exactly, but as they come up to the line, we'll be underway, and it looks like everyone's standing in formation for the moment. But
now the starting line is a bit over there, way off itself here, and now they're green.
And everyone's underway, so
really good start.
Michael always gets a great start and catches drives out slightly, and they head into turn one. Is everyone going to be sensible? There's a bit of door rubbing, but everyone's being sensible at the moment.
No yellow yet. Well, we seem to have gone quite alright in the first couple. Oh no, we didn't.
I was hoping everyone would be sensible, but I think I just sort of opened my mouth too soon. But apart from that, up at the front anyway, it's been relatively clean, and it looks like Michael Thomas has had a great start.
Yeah, that's that's running away with it, how they call that, right? Is that he's already almost on a second lead, so that's a really good start.
But it'll be interesting to see if Dreiser can try and keep up with him and try and keep the pressure on as looking at one of the fantastic camera angles in this again, and look at the cars and launching over the sausage curves, and they've got to be careful of that as well, because if you take too much of either of them on the inside or the left side, you can get a cut track warning.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also on this ones. It's easy to do. I've been trying to figure out where the lines exactly are, but I haven't really tried it on each corner exactly. So, but that's yeah, it's an easy part to get a track at, because you want to keep the speed, and you and I'm not quite sure if people are always able to do that, to do the variante alt in exactly the same way, but I'm not capable for that. So there's always a slight difference, and that might make a corner cut a real possibility at one point. But yeah, this is, wow, he's really quick on that.
Absolutely, and it looks like Barney might be causing a bit of a train heading into the toes of hairpin. But I wonder if possibly if Barney's running maybe a slightly full fuel. It looks like someone's had an incident, and it's the Dutchman Thomas van Schaik.
Yeah, I think Barney he did a long stint as well, right, on Spa. So he was one of the guys doing a really long stint with Sam as well.
I believe, yeah, I believe both of them done the same at Spa, I believe, but I would need to go back and double check that. So I wonder if Barney's carrying the full fuel and basically planning just to take a drop of fuel at the pit stop. But yeah, interesting to see it. He's holding up Kieran Virago as well in the Lamborghini. So I think if Kieran can get a good run and try and make a move, I think you might try and get by as quickly as possible. But look at the queue of cars behind Barney as well. That's that's pretty much a bit of a train, you could say.
Yeah, but then if you look at the speed with which Michael Thomas is driving away, he might be perhaps lighter. So that could make perhaps an interesting difference in the race. But here's a really nice overtake.
So
Martin Ulrich, right? Yeah.
It looks like Martin Ulrich made a move into turn one through the Variante Tamburello section. So yeah, Ulrich's wanting to try and gain some positions, as it looks like Stuart Wright's had an issue through Variante Tamburello, so trying to keep out of the way as well. It doesn't want to rejoin and cause a bit of mayhem as all the cars are going by, and I think Stuart will be feeling really frustrated as he's going off again.
I think he was waiting for his teammate, but no. Because they have the same livery, I'm not quite sure they're teammates. But There were some team orders there. He had to let the other one through. So Cameron's got the quickest lap with what is it? A 1:41.3. So yeah, that's really quick.
Absolutely, and the top three up at the front are just leaving the rest of the pack behind them at the moment, and Barney's all. Geez, Barney's already been left behind as well. So I think, yeah, definitely, he's definitely carrying full fuel, I think. And but as you can see here, it's definitely maybe compromising his pace slightly. But I think, yeah, as we know that Clout's been famous for doing this in the past, and they trying to go as long as possible.
Yeah, and looking at the gap now is that Michael isn't running away with it from Marius or Cameron. So I think they sort of do the same lap time. So yeah, they seem to be quite a bit quicker than the other guys, because I think the quickest time. Yeah. Oh, Thomas got the fast lap now with a 1:41.012, but Marius wasn't that much slower with 600s in between them. So yeah, they seem to be able to keep it up really, really close. So yeah, it might be very interesting, because they might all be on the same strategy, with Clyde perhaps being on a different one. So if that's the case, that makes it interesting for the latter half of the race. So we still got quite a way to go before we're halfway, and now we're actually starting to see the first pit stops, I guess. So we don't have any pit stops yet, right? Nobody damaged or anything in the or ran into the wall, which is also an easy thing to do here. If you sometimes misjudge it, it's very easy to get a. Oh, there's Marco Taccini. Does he do a real pit stop already?
Yeah, I was good. Taccini in the pits already. I'm not sure if that's a scheduled pit stop or if something might have happened to him. So as we've got more action going on, and Patrick Treffers has been swamped up as well in the exit of the final corner. So I don't know if Patrick's went off track or had issues or made a mistake. But yeah, it's got plenty of battles going on throughout the field already, and we're only about probably 5 minutes into the race.
It's as expected, I think, on this track. I mean, it really promotes sort of these overtakes, like diving into an inside line. There are a couple of places where you really can try and outbrake someone. So after the Variante Villeneuve, which is now coming up, you get into in the corner Tosa, which is this. So if people actually really go to the outside, yeah, and you have a bit of an overspeed, you can try and push it on the inside, like now being done by Andy. I think it's Andy King, right? Or yeah, oh, Stewart. Oh, that's Stewart. Yeah. Oh, Andy is in the Porsche, I think. Yeah. Oh no, no. Yeah, it's in the McLaren. Yeah. So yeah, it's yeah, there are really quite a few places where you can overtake if you just get a bit of a better exit. Oh, that was close.
Yeah, that was very close as
Because I saw the other guy trying to make a move to get out of the way as well, and he almost seemed to spin as well. So it was the black car. Yeah,
and it looks like
that's
someone's had an
Iridius
issue,
Spartus. Yeah,
and it's
I think he.
Artis. So I wonder if
There's one for the police, a nice donut, and
so I wonder if they had a little bit of help or if it was just a self-inflicted mistake. But as we look at Thomas Van Schijk coming across the line now, and currently 19th at the moment, and doing pretty well at the moment in the semi-pro class, but obviously still a long way to go. So maybe Thomas is sticking to a plan of just trying to keep out of trouble until the closing stages, and then maybe try and go for it. But back up at the front, there's still Barney's still, well, I was going to say still creating a chain, but him and it looks like Ulrich have managed to pull away slightly, so it looks like we've got a train behind those two cars still going on at the moment, and yeah, I think if you're stuck in this train and you're on a strategy, you might be feeling slightly frustrated, but on the other hand, if you've got a strategy set in stone that you want to stick to, it's maybe not a bad thing to maybe just stay where you are at the moment.
Yeah, but also if you're stuck in this train, I mean, I still think the track is amazing to drive, and being this close, your heart rate's pumping. I mean, you can't afford any mistake on misbraking or anything. You need to be so clean in your lines. So, also a small question, because I noticed that Mr. Fredriksson, also officially known, I think, as Terje André Fredriksson, has now called himself Teddy Fredriksson in the race. So is he doing that to help us out in, in pronouncing his name?
I was about to ask that. I wonder if that's to help us because I do know I've butchered his first name. Oh, Spanish around.
Oh shit! That's a shame.
Uh, yeah, Barney around and oh, I was going to say be careful of the rejoin, but it looks like Barney and Ulrich might have just had some slight door-to-door contact, and it's tapped Barney around.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, in the variant Tamburello, it's yeah, it's easy sort of to get next to someone and try and outbrake them, but then to make sure you get through the other two corners without hitting each other, that's really really hard, because you need to, if you're on the inside line, you need to yeah, you need to be able to brake really hard to stay on the inside of the first corner, and then try to stay on the outside on the second. And yeah, if somebody just comes in a bit too much to try for corner 3, to make that corner a bit more open, yeah, you're being hit. So I'm not quite sure if we can get a replay of that incident, just to take a small closer look. Let's see if our resident director can actually provide that.
As we look at Regan Mitchell at the moment, and he's right behind Vidigo, cover across the start finish, and looks like Mitchell's got a run, and I wonder if
Isn't that Sam? Isn't that Sam?
is that Sam?
In front?
Yeah, that's
Oh.
Sam is behind. Sam is
Oh,
behind.
Sam is
Regan.
behind. Yeah. Oh, yeah. True. Yeah.
It looks like
yeah.
someone came flying in there. I thought it was going to be a big accident, but yeah, it looked like Regan got the run, but decided not to make too much of a big deal of it, and yeah, I think Regan's probably realising that he's being held up slightly, and he wants to try and make a move.
Nard fell back a bit, so Nard Cox, and I think Nika and Sam both overtook him. So that happened somewhere. But looking at the speed difference, I think it's okay. So now we take another look at the incident between Ulrich, I think, and so, yeah, that's a hard one. Okay.
So coming up to the chicane, and Regan just diving in and just overshoots his entry slightly, and that'll compromise him. And who picks up the positions? That's Spenkelink, and it looks like Vargas as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's such an easy mistake to make there, because they're all really on the limit of braking, and then yeah, if you have half a meter too little, yeah, you have an issue. It's such a hard corner, because those curbs, even though they seem to be the most of the cars seem to be able to take them really really well, they will still really destabilize your car, because they're quite a bit higher than you think looking at it from this angle, I think. And here you see the track sort of get this small kink to the left just before you get into the corner, and you almost saw the cars touching there as well. This is a try to keep the speed. So if you get a better exit here, you can really dive on the inside here and get an overtake perhaps. But yeah, these guys are just way too good to have that happen to them. Into Piratella, we try and keep the speed, and well, it might have been an almost track cut by Regan. But also, I think you just saw, because that's a fun thing if you look at it from the inside of the car, the height difference in Aqua Minerale, it's really big. There are really a couple of corners where you sort of really dive down and need to get back up a hill almost. So yeah, and I love that about this track as well. Ooh, that was
same running wide, I think.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think Nick had a better exit on Variante Alta, and then he got some overspeed, was able to get on the outside line of Sam, and then Sam tried to outbrake him, which didn't work. So well done by Nick.
So yeah, Vargo. I think something might have happened. It looks like Lard Cox has had an issue in the turn 1, 2, and 3. I wonder if he had a bit of assistance, or if it was just a self-inflicted mistake. But as I look at Teddy Fredrickson, and I have to say, if Fredrickson changed his first name to help us, then I do appreciate it, because I couldn't for the life of me pronounce his first name, because yeah, again, I'm not not very good at pronouncing names. So yeah, if that was to help us, Teddy, then yeah, thank you.
Yeah, which it should be sort of like these, what is it, this Indian call centers, is that everyone has an English name?
Oh yeah.
That would be funny. Okay, so here's what happens with Nart. Oh yeah, that's what those curbs do to you if you hit them just a bit wrong.
I had a feeling it was going to be something to do with the curbs, because I know from my experience, if you take too much of those sources curbs, as Vargas has had an issue in turn 1, 2, and 3, and runs right through the gravel. So I wonder if he just missed his braking point, or just carried a little bit too much corner entry speed, but manages to get going again. He's still inside the top 10, so yeah, I think he might feel slightly frustrated though, because he was up in P7 at one point.
Yeah, but also looking at those curbs, because I've been trying the circuit again for the last weekend. That I did some. I ran over curb and just got completely launched, and I thought I was running over that curb in exactly the same way as I did on other laps. So, and then for some reason it just really launched the car. So it's really weird what sometimes happens as well. Ooh, yeah, that's the thing I warned about with the sort of kink in that track, where people just don't notice. You naturally drift to the outside. So trying to claim a space on that outside is just not the best idea. And if you try and overtake on the inside of corner 2, you really need to take care that you stay more on the inside than you would expect you need to do. It's just that small kink at the end that kills you. So, well, Michael isn't really able to lose Marius as well. That's still only 1.8 seconds between them. So that's not too bad.
Yep, so at the moment, Virigo under pressure from Spankerlink, and just a matter of time before Sam makes a move, I think. But on the other hand, he's maybe not in a rush to get a move done straight away, as it looks like Kieran gets a bit of a wiggle and headed up to the scare. I wonder if Sam can try and carry some speed and maybe try and get a run down to the final couple of corners, but he's not close enough. I think his best opportunity might be down might be down over the start finish line.
Yeah, but I think Sam, if he isn't careful, he's going to be bunched up again with the other cars as well, because I think they seem to be getting closer. So I think Kieran, yeah, there's a choice you need to make. Am I or am I not going to attack him? Because if I attack him, he's gonna lose space, and people behind me are actually getting closer then. Or am I just gonna drive with him and see if we can drive away a bit from the people behind us? It's a hard decision to make sometimes, because it's quite usually think, well, I'm quicker, I should try and overtake, where sometimes that's just not the best option, because if you try and overtake in a corner where it's not really happening, you lose a second immediately, and the other three cars are immediately on your backside. But yeah, they seem to be gaining. I think Sam is quite good in the braking zones. But then he loses a bit in some of the exits of the corner.
Yeah, I was going to say, I did notice that Sam seems to be under braking, and under braking Sam seems to be really good. But it's just sometimes you just can't get sometimes his exit, you just can't get close enough on the exit to try and make a move. But it's just a case of sometimes maybe someone's just better at on corner exit, and it seems to kind of just seems to level out.
It's looking at, I mean, this is still really, really close, and we're like almost, we're 25 minutes in almost, so. And still there's like this difference, which is kind of amazing. Although we do see quite a few bigger gaps, so looking at how far away Michael and Marius are, those are quite a big batch in front of the rest, and you see a few larger gaps on the track map before we get into the whole Kieran and Sam battle. So yeah. Oh.
And it looks like we've got a move going on into turn one. Pixley manages to get a move done on the
GTR power.
Yeah, I was going to say GTR power definitely kicked in there across the home straight, and or down the home straight, I should say. So it looks like Pixley having a decent run as well, to 15th overall, and he's sitting in the fourth position at the moment in the semi-pro class. So having a good run at the moment. And this is the question I was going to ask you, Frank. What do you do if you're stuck in a pack? Do you try and pit early and try and get an undercut, or do you just try and go as low as possible?
Well, I don't know yet. I think because in Spa I did a long stint, which in the end didn't really help out. But at one point I at least was driving second, I think. Yeah, the other ones were of course just single races, except for the everyone had to do a pit stop in race one last time around. We had a slight hiccup in the setup, and then and now, yeah, it's a bit funny, because I've noticed when you do a tire pit stop is that usually after the pit stop you start to get quicker. Although I've sometimes been slower, but that's just a loss of concentration. But You normally, because I think the track is more rubbered in, and you then get new tires. Your traction is actually better, so that helps you out in setting quicker lap times. So that's why the undercut is normally, I think, quite decent. Except, yeah, when people are able to stay out long and keep a decent pace, I mean, that's something you're never gonna get back if you do a full pit stop, which takes 30 seconds. And if you do, I think I did a quick splash and dash on Spa, which took me about 5 seconds. Yeah, that and but yeah, bad driving cost me about 20 seconds as well. So I didn't really make up a lot of time there.
And as battle comes up to the chicane now, and it looks like Regan Mitchell's got a run in the Spenkelink heading up to the chicane, and that'll be a brave move to try and hold it on the outside, but can't. Oh, is it Spenkelink? Spenkelink, yeah. Yeah, Spenkelink struggling through the chicane, so he's definitely feeling a bit of pressure.
If he's doing a long stint, that doesn't help.
Yeah, his tires will not be liking that, that's for sure.
Oh, that's and I think in the back was that Mike Redburn, or was it Barney who was sort of almost spinning out on the? He took a really long line through that corner. Oh, don't do it, Sam. No. That's so close. Sorry for the commentating like this, but I'm just fanboying here. This is so cool. Oh. Yeah, he's like, well, well, that's a smart move. I mean, he's in the lead of the of his semi-pro class, so why would you try and be a part of something where you might crash and just do your race and keep your tires clean? It was what helped me to the amateur title last season. So just never race anybody. That really helped.
As looking at Thomas Van Schijk, and yeah, it looks like he's got by Baz Van Melis, and yeah, basically gained another position, and Van Melis under pressure from well, I was about to say he was under pressure from Verhoeven, but Verhoeven just run slightly wide there, and oh sorry, that was a back marker, my apologies. So yeah, this is Verhoeven here in the Porsche. They a little bit further back, so it's a back marker. So yeah, I apologise for my mistake, but yeah, it's good to see Baz doing well overall in 16th, and they having a good run in the semi-pro class at the moment. And I do like that BMW livery. It looks cool, but it looks simple.
He always, I think, he makes his own liveries, right? Doesn't he? Oh. He lets them make by someone. Takes the easy way out. Yeah. I've seen a tutorial on how you would need to do that, and it's people would, or how you could do it, and then use Blender and everything on those liveries, and I think it's amazing if you do a decent one. I always just take one of the standard liveries, fiddle around with the colors, and then start driving with that. Oh yeah, and add a lot of chrome in it. That's at least one thing is shiny if it isn't something that I'm doing. Yeah. But some of these, I think really some of those liveries are stunning. Some people do that so well. It's amazing. Ooh, nice slide. Well kept. Oh, that's, yeah. That sort of heart in your mouth moment during braking to not crash into someone. I always find it sometimes still quite hard. I mean, if just an explanation for the people at home who don't know it, if you brake on exactly the same spot as somebody else does, you actually will hit them. So if you're really running close behind someone, you really need to brake like 5 meters before your normal braking point, just to not run into somebody in the corner. So you always really need to be aware, okay, where's my normal braking point, and then I need to brake earlier to just not run into someone. Ooh, here's the battle for the lead, guys. This is Michael being under pressure by Marius, which is kind of amazing. Well done.
I think at one point Michael pulled away at the start and built a bit. Oh, Michael runs wide slightly, so yeah, it's that'll be a cut track warning for sure. But yeah, Michael pulled away at one point and at the start of the race, and then basically I think Marius is just kind of just been doing his own thing and managed to close that gap down as they've got a battle at the bottom of the screen as well going on at the moment, and point of action not just up at the front but further back in the field as well. And a bit of contact there, and one car goes wide, one car spins on the inside. And that was Clyde Barney again having issues. So it wasn't Barney, it was Fredrickson that went off. So yeah, I think that move. I think that was a bit. Yeah, I would say it was a bit of a 50-50 incident. The one car could have left more room. The other car was trying a bit of an optimistic move, but there's this battle for the lead still going on at the moment. And I've said Dreisig is definitely putting the pressure on. But as I say that, into the toes of hairpin, he gets a bit of a sideways moment.
Yeah, but I'm really amazed by the performance of the Aston. It seems to be a really quick car here. I'm not quite sure about the BOP settings, so I think we're using LFM BOP, which is the balance of performance for the people at home. Balance of performance means that even because the cars are really different, cars can get sort of penalized or get a bonus in either weight loss or weight gain. So if a car is sort of too quick on a track, it gets a few extra kilos of ballast, and the other way around if it's too slow, and that should take care of the racing, that there's not one car that's a favorite for one track, but that all cars are a valid choice for any track that you can drive on, and that's on a per track basis that's being implemented, and we use that for balancing out the cars. And because we use that now, I think we've seen quite a few more cars this season than we did last season when we didn't use it yet. So that's always a really nice change. It's always nice to see some cars that are sort of like a once in a lifetime car. So the GTR Nissan is a car that you would actually never see, and now it's there. The Lexus was really bad at one point, but now it's a valid car again. So yeah, always really nice to see all those cars.
Yeah, I was going to say it. LFM have been doing a good job with regards to the BOP, and cars that you wouldn't normally see being raced, say like the Honda, Nissan, the Lexus as well. Yeah, and good to see those cars being raced again, and being on the pace as well. It looks like we've got some people taking the pit stop at the moment with Verhoeven, and it looks like Tremlin diving into the pits as well.
I think one of the cars that no one is using now is the Boatley, right?
Yeah, it's good to. I wasn't sure if I mentioned the Bentley or not, but the Boatley, as people like to call it. But
hey, we have a pit stop by Michael.
As Michael dives into the pit lane, so maybe I'll be interested to see if Michael takes on new tyres or not.
Which is actually quite early. I mean, we still have like 3.5 minutes left before we're actually halfway. So that's a reasonably early start. Okay, that's a nice drift around the corner. I think Marius is now trying everything to get as fast a lap as he can. So Well, this is the time I think that he could try and get a bit of extra speed in, because perhaps he was a bit held up by by Michael. So hopefully he can put in a few good laps, perhaps like 2 or 3 laps, and build up a bit of a performance gain. Although we need to see what lap times Michael will start driving once he gets his tires back up to speed. Yeah. So Michael's coming out of the pits. His mark behind his car number is now green, which means he has done his pit stop. And luckily not a drive-through or anything, so he did a well-executed pit stop then. So now let's see how he's going to perform. So he is one of the first, right? So Nick already did one as well. So all the BMWs are doing a pit stop already. Okay, I need to do an early pit stop then.
Yeah, I wonder if some drivers
Only-
have decided to maybe just start with half a tank and then basically take fuel and tires at the pit stop. But yeah, as it looks like Martin Ulrich's into the pits as well from third place.
Yeah, the only BMW who isn't pitting is Bas, I think. So. So yeah, Ulrich is in there as well. Martin is in the pit as well. Kieran has managed to hold off Sam anyway for the last couple of laps, because they were of course really close together at one point.
Yep, so Sam's falling back slightly, and I think I wonder if it's Sam's maybe just deciding to back off slightly and just try and look after his tyres, because we have seen him have a few sketchy moments and sideway moments, so maybe just try to look after his tyres. But with the ambient temperature and track temperature, ambient temperature being 28 degrees and track temperature being 36, I think if he doesn't take tyres at his pit stop, he'll be struggling as Cameron Hunt dives into the pits from second place.
Yeah, but also looking at the sort of best lap times, you see that Kieran Vidago, Sam, Regan Mitchell, their best lap times are all 1:42 times, which would suggest, looking at the times that they can drive, is that they are indeed on a higher fuel load and really try and manage the tires to get a long stint and just splash and dash. So the splash and dash on the BMW isn't really a splash and dash, because it's the fuel consumption of the BMW is really high compared to the Lambo. So I think if you look at the Lambo, I was doing about 25 liters per 15 minutes, which would mean that for an hour and 15 minutes, you would actually need to get only like 5 liters of fuel. And for I think for the BMW, I use about 30 liters per 15 minutes, so really quite a bit higher. So your pit stop, even if you do only a splash and dash, is still quite a bit longer than the Lambo would do, because taking fuel takes quite a bit of time, to be honest.
It looks like Marius Dragzig's into the pits as well, so yeah, all the pit stops are starting to happen now, and this is pretty much the part of the race where we find out who's going for a long run and decide to pit towards the end of the race, or who's going to pit right now and they maybe try and basically pit right now and try and maybe they try and undercut, or basically see who's got the pit stop spot on. And the dry zig's already rolling, so I wonder if that was just
He might have done only fuel then.
Yeah, I was going to say it looked like it was a fuel only stop.
Well, I hope it doesn't kill him in the end, because Michael Thomas is now driving at the moment. A really quick lap, I think. So yeah, he's just done a 1:41.1, and the last lap by Marius was I think a 1:41.6 if he's still on the same tires. Yeah, that might be perhaps like half a second per lap in the first few laps. Still, he's quite a bit in front now, so he might make it till the end, but yeah, really interesting. So I'm kind of curious if the people in the front now are all doing a really long stint with a high fuel load. I think the first three definitely are, and then Clyde as well, looking at his lap time. Teddy might as well. Well, and Matt Redfern, yeah, his last lap was 1:43.3. So.
Yep, as I look at Barney at the moment, and yeah, it's not been it's been an up and down race for Barney. You could say it's not been one of those races where it's been kind of been a smooth race. It's been full of incidents, and I think Barney will be feeling frustrated as well, because he knew with Justin Dion not being able to make it tonight, he could have used that advantage to try and try and take advantage in the championship.
Yeah, but I mean, he's still out there driving. If he's got a high fuel load, which we expect him to have, well, he's still in the mix with all the other guys. I mean, there's hardly a second between them all, so there's nothing lost yet for him, right?
Absolutely not. I mean, it's still pretty much about 32.5 minutes to go, so still plenty of time for him to try and regain some positions, as he's right behind Regan Mitchell. Then in front of Mitchell you've got Spenkelink as well, and in front of Spenkelink you've got Vertigo as well. So a 4-car battle for the lead at the moment. I wonder if anyone out of this pack might try and pit and try and get an undercut.
Well, I'm kind of curious on. I mean, looking now at the amount of time between Marius and the sort of front runners, that's like only 13 seconds or so. 13, 14 seconds, I don't know. And is that enough in a pit stop with only a splash and dash? Oh, Cameron Hunt. Shit. Cameron has a drive-through, and he was running third. So that's a shame. Would it have been a drive-through from the pit stop or the or on track, just track limit drive-through? Yeah. So that's a track limit drive-through, unfortunately for him. Who was standing there?
And it looks like, yeah.
Oh.
I think
Cameron left the building. Yeah.
Yeah, Cameron might have quit out of in the nicest possible way. I'll say it looks like he might have quit out of frustration. So.
Well, we already lost 3 people, to be honest, because we have only 28 people left. So We've lost a few more.
But yeah, someone mentioned in the chat it probably it took longer than expected to get our first drive through due to track limits. So yeah, it like I said at the start of the broadcast, it looks like you think Imola's it's pretty easy not to get any cut track warnings, but in some parts of the track it's pretty easy. So you've kind of got to be on your toes and make sure you don't go too wide in places, especially the exit of this corner here. You don't want to go too wide, otherwise you'll get a warning.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, I mean, it's looking at those curbs and then the yellow sausages that are perpendicular on the track. Sometimes it's because you sort of can then seem to take them with the wheel on the inside of those sausages, so you don't hit the sausage, but you run it on the inside, and that's a track limit as well. Yeah, but it's really inviting to to try and run that the curves like that. So yeah, but this is, look at this, man. It's like that's all within a second. All those guys, amazing. After 45 minutes of racing, 4 guys within a second. That's not too bad.
I was looking at Spenkelink at the moment. They're currently up into second place now, and Sam just overshoots.
Yeah, and that's an immediate overtake almost. Yeah.
And it
Well,
looks like
that
Barney's
doesn't need to be that's because he's in the slipstream. So that doesn't need to be an overtake. And this is always tricky because you get the kink. Nope, that's going fine. But then they try and do it like that. Okay, yep, still. Let's go 3 wide. No, yeah. You win some, you lose some, and then immediately you have Teddy there as well. So yeah, he sort of within a couple of corners he made up 1.7 seconds. So that's what fighting does, and yeah. And Sam was able to pull away all of a sudden with a small gap.
Yeah, so Sam's managed to just pull away slightly and leave Barney, Mitchell and Fredrickson behind to score.
But then he overshoots it. So yep.
Sam overshoots the corner, so I should have kept him.
So he wants to keep him close.
But it's been a bit of an unusual race from Sam as well. Normally he's one of those drivers that when you watch him in the field is always having a smooth race, but maybe I don't know if it's a setup or maybe the tyres, maybe tyre presses are not where they are. Maybe it's just the track conditions as well not suiting Sam's setup. As it looks like Fredrickson's into the pits.
Yeah, but it is.
Regan, sorry.
Regan, yeah. But it's yeah, but like I said, it is kind of a difficult track, and like we said as well, the front engine cars seem to have an easier time, like the BMW and the Aston. They seem to be doing really well on this track, and then these mid-engine cars, yeah, they might just be a bit twitchier in some of those corners. Especially on bumps, usually they don't handle the curbs as well as the front, sort of the I wouldn't say front engine cars. So there is a difference usually, and I'm not quite sure how all these newer cars handle the curbs on this track.
So Barnett's still running third at the moment behind Svengelink, and Kieran in front of them has managed to just pull away slightly. So he's taking advantage of these 3 cars behind him squabbling away to try and just build a bit of a gap. But we've got about 25.5 minutes left in the race. I'm keeping an eye on them to see when they make their pit stop. But further back, we've got a battle of Villanello and looks like Van. Yep, Van.
Milan
Yeah,
Dauma, I think, right?
yeah, that's the one. Oh, I'm not very good at this.
Ah, well. I don't think anybody minds. They're just happy to be both on because I always look back on the streams. I just think it's fun, and it's always just fun if you get a bit of airtime and you can just see a bit of the racing. Because I think always, and it's also if you're in a race, you hardly notice anything that's going on really around you or what's really happening on track. Especially, and only what's in your immediate vicinity and perhaps what you see a bit in front. But then usually, if something happens, it's you're past it too fast to actually have been able to notice who it was that got involved. So yeah, such a broadcast is always fun to look back, and I always do that. I think it's amazing. Oh, we have another. Another drive-through for Alexander Tremlin, which is still only drive-through number 2, so people are handling it really, really well. Oh, but that meant that he quits, so it's a shame. Especially if more people are quitting at one point. You're always in the points, right? I don't quite understand why people do that. I always keep driving.
Yeah,
Okay.
Seb's got a run heading into it. Oh, he's going to try and go on the outside. This will be brave.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's well done.
That was a very brave move. But thankfully Seb managed to pull it off. There was a bit of a
that was the move that I think we saw in one of the first laps where Clyde was being hit on the right front, and then he just spun out. Was that? Yeah, there was Clyde, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But the brave move by Sam. And still, we have. So how many seconds do we have between Marius and Thomas? So that's 6 seconds between them. I think it was more when they came out of the pits. So. Oh, Marnie goes wide. Probably lifted a bit just to make sure that he's not getting a drive-through. Yeah, and sometimes that's something you need to do on those curves as well. If you hit them wrong and you know it immediately when you hit them, it's better to just sort of run a bit wide, so because there are like these 4 or 5 curbs as well on the outside, on the tarmac which is already outside of the track. And if you hit those, you really start jumping around, and the car completely unsettles, and you will definitely spin. So moving past those 4 curbs and then get on a normal sort of tarmac really helps out in keeping the speed and keeping position. So we see Nart perhaps still having damage, or maybe he repaired. I'm not quite sure how much the damage was. Yeah. So he probably repaired, and fighting back with that is Peter van Lieshout in front of him, I think. Yeah. Or is that a back marker? Oh, that's a back marker, perhaps. No, Peter. Yeah. Yeah. Is that is that Peter van Lieshout, the purple car, Peter? I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
As Nard comes across the line, and yeah, I think it'll be a race of frustration for Nard because yeah, he was definitely up there in the early stage of the race, but just that mistake in the turn 1 and 2 over those saucer curbs just unsettled the car and they threw him into the wall. But it's just been a case of trying to salvage a result as much, well, the best result possible, and with just under 20 minutes to go, I think pretty much the top 20, I guess, is all he could hope for.
Yeah, he hasn't had a lot of luck, I think, this year up till now. Because I think his quality has been very decent every time, but like he's been his finishing positions have been 11th, 10th, and 14th. So I think he got back up to reasonably well in the second race on the Red Bull ring, but otherwise I think he's just had a bit of a run of bad luck. And now again, unfortunately for him. But yeah, mistakes are easily made on this track, so yeah. So, but his average lap times are probably quite a bit quicker than Peter, so well defended, but not the best of exit. Yeah. Yeah, now it's a sprint to the, but I think Nart is on the better line. So yeah. I'm hoping they don't hit. Ooh, nice. Nice racing by both of them. Well held by Nart and well done by Peter as well. It's a good job. And here we still the same guys. No, that's ahead of them. These are what was it? Dario Vianello, and that's Dennis Hoover, I think. Oh no, is that Dennis? Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, but the some late race battles going on at the moment, and yeah, between these two have been pretty much close, I think, because Villarnello gets a bit of a wiggle on exit there, but yes, plenty of racing still going on as well as we come to the closing stages, and yeah, it's been good racing overall, and also in the semi-pro class as well. As it looks like we've still got, I think we've still got about 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 people left to still make their pit stop, I think.
Yeah, that's gonna be the guys doing the splash and dash, I guess. And then, yeah, depending on the amount of fuel needed, I mean, a few extra liters might really make a difference of about a second, I think, during the fueling. So. Shot it a bit. Nice. There's a small bit of drifting. Ooh, that was opportunistic. Well seen by Dennis. Because I don't think he was expecting Dario to go for the move there. But then we still have this going on. Nothing changes much. Oh yeah, Clyde passed Kieran Vidago already, so perhaps we can find a replay of that on when that happened. Just keeping Chris busy. Also, I'm looking at the back markers because I'm not quite sure who was who were the guys in the blue one, the car behind it that's now driving there. They've been driving sort of in the same spot for quite a while, so
Yeah, I was
they
going to.
don't. Oh, Stuart Wright was that, right? And Andy? Yeah. So they've been staying really close by as well. So the speed difference isn't that high.
Indeed, the battle between Vidigo and Fredriksson's now going on at the moment, and it looks like Fredriksson's got a run, but there's a back marker in front. It might compromise his run, and he has to back out slightly and just tuck him behind.
Oh, drifting wide. Well, I've spun my car there already as well. If you try to go full throttle, you know you should be going full throttle. Start of the corner 3, so that's the right-hander in the corner complex, and then you want to go full throttle already, and then sometimes it just won't really stick, and you completely spin out in a similar way that that Nar did. It's an easy mistake to make if you try and be as fast as possible through that complex. So that I think on the original circuit that was a full you didn't have the sort of corners there. So this is the pass of Clyde at Kieran. Oh, is that a back marker that helped out? Yeah, I think so. Oh, that's Sam. So yeah, that's oh, it's almost surprising that Leonardo, I think that's Leonardo, right? Or Terry. Teddy, is that Teddy? So, yeah, Teddy, you would almost have expected him to pass him there as well. Oh, there we have the pit stop by Kieran.
Yep, so I wonder if Kieran decided to go for an undercut, or if it's just basically pretty much just trying to go as low as possible in field. But yeah, I wonder if with Kieran doing his pit stop, I wonder if that'll set off a chain reaction as we look at Dreisig, and it looks like Dreisig and Thomas coming through turn 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I mean, look at the difference, right? He's only a second away from Teddy, so they're really, yeah, they've really completely picked up on the track positions as well. Of course, they now need to be able to pass them, but looking at how quick they're driving compared to the other guys, that probably shouldn't be a real problem. But it's also a really close battle still for the win. I mean, 12 minutes to go, and I think we can say that number 1 and number 2 are like a second apart. So yeah. And this means also that the sort of overcut, what is it? Apparently doesn't pay as much dividend here as it did on the Spa track. So you probably lose a bit too much time on the old tires on this track. Yep.
That's a
Oh,
good point,
that's true,
actually.
yeah.
There's a good point that our director brings up. I wonder if one of these two only took fuel and the other took tires only, or
So
basically.
Michael took tires as well, and Marius didn't. So this might mean that, yeah, during those last couple of laps, is that yeah, there's still a very interesting battle perhaps going on. I mean, I think Thomas was about over 7 seconds behind Marius when he came out of the pits. So that's a really big gap that he was able to close with the newer tires. Well, let's hope we can get them both in the in the booth.
Ooh.
Oh, drive through for Teddy.
No!
No.
Yeah, Teddy got a drive through now. That can only be for track limits, I believe.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would be I think different if you get a stop and go if you do something wrong in the pit. Yeah. So then you get a stop and go. So that's a shame for Teddy. But yeah, it's a real risk on this track. So I think, like we expressed before, it's amazing how many or how little drive-throughs we actually had up till now. But yeah, this seems to decide my strategy is that I'll probably go with 2 stints and changing tires probably as well, and have some fun being able to drive a bit faster.
There's it. Looking back as well, looking at Pixley, and just in front of Pixley, you've got Van Schaik as well, right in front of him. So yeah, just under 10 minutes to go, and it's plenty of battles going on as well, and some late race drama as well with Fredriksson getting a drive through. So yeah, I don't think he'll be happy with that, because that's just I think that might have cost him possibly the semi-pro class win, and I think that allows Andy King up into the class lead as Michael Thomas just Thomas.
Yeah, but Andy still needs to pit as well, right? So
that's a good point, actually. I forgot about
and
that.
then what was it? Lutijn, what was his name? Raymond, I think Lutijn. He still has to do a pit stop. So that means okay, Teddy is now in the pit, doing his drive-through. So yeah, then see what happens. So that might mean that Redfern and Thomas and Pixley are perhaps even battling for the podium. So let's see what happens. Oh, Teddy is already has done his drive-through. Oh no, hasn't really done it. So he's now back in, yeah, I think provisionally 4th in class. Unless Andy has a really short pit stop and pulls it off to stay in front. We also have a quit due to hardware failure, so perhaps somebody had a crash of the game, which is something I usually have. Oh, we almost had a replay, and then we didn't. Wrong button. Oh, wrong feed. Oh no, our director is getting tired.
As Dreisig and Thomas are still close together, and it looks like they've got a
Oh, Barney. Ooh, and that's a really close one. That might give Michael a run on Marius, because he seemed to have a better exit. Oh my god. Will they?
Yeah. Because that might have been a quick running on the chicane.
Yeah, that didn't help Marius, so that's a shame. But I think, yeah, Michael would have been quicker anyway. That was.
As we're just coming up to.
That was a close one.
Just under 6 minutes remaining, or pretty much 6 minutes remaining, and still got a Spenkelink and Spenkelink, Barry King, and a one other
Lutine,
car. Uh,
Raymond.
Raymond Lutting. That's the one. That's what I was looking for. Still four of them to make their pit stop. So I've got a feeling that they might leave it until maybe about 2 or 3 minutes left remaining in the race, and then they'll dive in and as
Oh,
I say that
and the King's now in.
Andy King's into the pit lane, and I think that might just be a splash of fuel for him.
Yeah, I mean, if he would now actually change tires, that would be a mistake on his part. I'm wondering if Sam now does his pit stop. I mean, he started from 10th place, right? So if he can make it sort of like in the top 10 after his pit stop, then yeah, he did a good job, right? So okay, and he's rolling again, but yeah, doesn't mean he's able to.
And Luton still needs to Luton still needs to make his pit
Yeah.
stop. So
he makes it in front of Teddy. Yeah, that's of course to be expected with drive-through.
So Luton, when he makes his pit
Oh
stop,
no,
I believe
he does make it in front of Teddy. Okay. Well.
So the battle for 7th place between Regan Mitchell, basically Regan Mitchell and again Kieran, and behind Kieran is Leonardo Wolf Garcia. So these two have been pretty much close together after the pit stop. So yeah, some late race battles going on as well. So I've got about 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in the race. So I've got a feeling that Spenkelink and Barney may dive into the pits at the end of this lap or the next lap.
Yeah, that's there isn't much choice, right? You do have to make the pit stop, so just really curious where they'll fall back to. But Richard Pixley then in the lead, sort of now virtual lead of the semi-pros, which is really nice on the GTR. Because I don't think what was his qualification spot? That wasn't that high up, right? So he did a really good race then.
Yeah, he's been having a good race. So I wonder where Pixel will finish. I think when Luton makes his pit stop, I think Pixel may take the class lead.
Yeah, I think so as well.
So if Pixel holds on to take the class 1 with the Nissan, I think that'll be a popular one for him, and also his team boss Dennis Pope. Oh,
yeah, I think
Spenklink's been spun round, so I wonder if that was with a back marker.
No, that was by Michael, I think, because Michael was like 0.2 seconds behind him. So Sam's probably gonna pit as well, I guess. Or was he already past the start finish again? Oh, he was already past the start finish. Okay. Well, turn 1 is probably turn 2, 3, 4. The initial kink on the straight just past the finish line is actually turn 1. Oh!
That was one of those
ground moment. That's what it is.
That was one of those take a deep breath and hope for the best moments. I'm not racing. That definitely made me clench.
So this is what. So this is the. Oh.
Oh, so it was dry. Oh, it was contact with. Oh, Dryzik
Run around.
Contact with Sam.
Was that Dryzik?
Yeah,
wow,
Dryzik
that was from miles away.
Yeah, that was basically.
Hmm.
think
I feel a
yeah,
steward decision going on.
yeah, I can see the stewards having a busy night, or basically
Well,
a
I think
busy.
it's been actually a rather clean race, and like I said, I think a couple of those incidents, yeah, especially in that turn, not with this sort of half dive bomb almost, but in that turn, I think most of those incidents has to do with the way the corner shaped. So
Yeah, just watching that, I think Dreiser just missed his braking points and
yeah,
just
yeah, completely.
brake too late. But yeah, that was a that well, that was a cent and a half anyway. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So Thomas, Thomas is back to the lead.
So
Dreisig is second
both
place, and
driving again,
Sam resumes in fourth place. Sorry, so Ulrich up into third place.
and did Sam pass Bani again? Looks like it. Because he was behind him when they came into the pits. Oh no, Sam is falling back completely. Yeah, okay.
But as we're on the final lap
But
and at the bottom of
Clyde's
this,
still in front of Kieran then, with only half a second in between, but still, they're like, yeah. Then it's almost surprising how far Sam fell back. Or was he already over a second behind Clyde when they got into the pit? Okay, brilliant race by Michael.
and Michael Thomas comes across the line to take the
Not
win
with
in the race, and it's been a bit of a hectic race, but Thomas kept his cool and Dreisig finishes in second. But as this battle at the top of the screen still going on with Barney and Kieran and Regan Mitchell, I wonder if Kieran might try and make a move down the inside, but Barney's going defensive and defending the inside line, and I think it looks like Kieran's going for a move. That's a bit optimistic, but Barney runs wide slightly, but manages to. So
will there be another try?
but that was good defensive driving by Barney to hold on, and as they come across the line, and that was to put it frankly, Frank, that was a bit of a hectic race.
Yeah, that was that last few laps were interesting. Yeah, I thought it was an amazing race though. Really good fun. Also because of the difference in tactics, it kept you on your toes and surprising. I think a bit of a surprise for me anyway, how well the sort of how bad perhaps the late pit stop was. I think Clyde made it work, just barely, but also with the amount of sort of incidents he's had, it's still even a brilliant drive to end up in fourth position, to be honest. So yeah, I thought a really fun race, and I think so Richard, Matt, and Thomas then make the top three in the semi-pros complete. So yeah, good fun.
Yeah, it was a great race throughout the field, and good to see Pixley taking the Class 1 as well with the Nissan, and that'll be a happy Wildfins Racing team. But overall, that was a great race at Imola, and I think it's next time out we go to like Laguna
Seca,
and that should be a good one of my favourite tracks. And next week, I believe it's the Tier 2 race, so if you're looking to watch more from GT3 Racing on SSRI, they make sure to watch that. But yeah, unfortunately I can't stick around for the interviews, but it's been a pleasure as always, Frank, and to call the race tonight alongside yourself and with Chris on the cameras, and I'm looking forward to Laguna Seca in 2 weeks time for what should be another fantastic race.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that race as well. So yeah, all good fun, I think. I think this was a really nice start of the race, so or a really nice start of the double header on Imola. Ryan, thanks a lot again for the help out in the commentator booth tonight. and sleep well and rise early.
It's been a pleasure, chaps, and yeah, I'll leave the
Okay, pleasure.
interviews to the capable hands of Frank, and
Yeah.
I'll be back in 2 weeks' time.
Okay, talk to you later. So, first of all, let's see if anybody's actually gonna join in the waiting room. Normally there should be, but yeah, let's wait and see if somebody's gonna join. And otherwise, we are. It's an early night for us as well. But yeah, I thought it was actually a really nice race. Looking back at the tactics that were employed, the longer, I mean, looking at the top four, yeah, I mean the stint, the sort of cutting it in half with tire change, cutting it in half with only fuel, or doing a really long stint on fuel and then just refuel a little. Yeah, it gave a sort of mixed results, but in the end, I think it looks like the result that came out of the qualifying almost as well. So in that way, not really surprising, but yeah, can say it was it was a really nice race to look at. Also with that in mind, and really close racing. I mean, those the guys with Sam, Clyde, Kieran, yeah, that was just really a lot of fun to look at, and made it a bit exciting during the whole race. A bit of a shame, I think, for Sam with that late accident, but we'll see how that's being handled perhaps later in the steward's room, perhaps, if Sam manages to file a report or wants to file a report. So we have one of our semi-pro winners in the booth, so I'm gonna drag him into the booth as well. Hi Thomas, welcome to the commentator booth.
Hey,
And,
good evening.
Good evening. So really nice finish in the semi-pros. So how was your race?
Well, in the end, I got back pretty well. I got spun on I think the second lap. Was dead last, and with a good strategy, with not switching tires, managed to get back to P3. But Redfern was just a little bit too fast, so I couldn't really bring the fight to him. But otherwise, yeah, it was a very good race this time.
Okay, yeah, it looked really nice for us anyway. It seemed it was really close, because at one point we thought that Teddy or Terje Andre Fredriksson was actually sort of trying to run away with it, and he made a really late pit stop, but I think he got a drive-through just at the end, so that cost him quite a bit, made him close behind you. Because also I think it's interesting that you said, because you had the really long stint, right?
Yes, I started with 90 liters, so I pitted I think with 20 minutes to go. Something like that.
Yeah, because we saw, I think now Sam and Clyde, they did a really long stint as well, but we saw quite a few people falling or dropping back quite a bit with the long stint. And you're probably
I focused on tires in the first half of the race to just really try to be nice to the rears, especially with the Porsche. So in the end, it worked out, luckily for me.
Yeah, and are you also looking forward to the race next, or in the next race? So Laguna Seca.
It's one of my, I don't want to say least favorite, but it's not my track. But I think that's the case for everyone. But yeah, it's the same for everyone. So we're just gonna do our best and try to get a good result again. And it's really exciting to be a real contender for the championship this year. So
it's amazing,
really
right?
Yeah.
So, and is that gonna play into your mind as well? Like, okay, I'm not gonna take too many risks at some points because I am a contender. Do you think that's gonna?
For the moment, not yet. But
not yet.
Let's see if we can keep up the pace, and so far so good. And let's see for the last few races.
Okay, I'll see you then in 2 weeks' time, and I'm gonna get a few other people in there. So first of all, let's get Marius in. And I'm also gonna drag Martin already in. Martin, Marius, I'm gonna start with Marius, if you don't mind, Martin. So,
all good, all good.
okay. Hey, Marius, welcome
Hi.
to the booth. So, how was your race?
Yeah, pretty good, I would say. But first of all, I have to say sorry to Sam because I killed him.
Yeah, we
And,
saw it.
I think he lost 5 positions or something, and yeah, completely unnecessary. I would break myself trying to keep up with the BMW, but yeah, it was completely unnecessary because I hate the old tires and I couldn't even keep up anyway. So yeah.
Because you had we were kind of surprised at how quick your pit stop was at one point, because we thought, okay, there's going to be 2 strategies. There's going to be the really long stint and only fuel, sort of splash and dash, and there's going to be the sort of short, like halfway stint where people do tires plus fuel. And I think you did the sort of halfway stint with only fuel then, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's actually the same strategy as I did in Spa,
Okay.
and that worked out pretty well. The bad thing here was that we didn't have much traffic behind, who were capable to hold him up, maybe. So yeah, he could just go the pace, and yeah. But yeah, I didn't lose anything, so it was worth rolling the dice.
Yeah, and I think you had a bit of bad luck as well with
Yeah.
Clyde, I think, spinning just in front of you. That
Not
just gave
just
Michael the edge.
Not just him. I lost, I think, 1.5 or 2 seconds in the second lap after the pit stops. Someone spun there, and then I had 2 cars in front of me and had to brake. So yeah, lost some time there as well. So people were throwing cars at me. But yeah.
Yeah, but for us it looked anyway, and I think it was in the second to last corner. That's where I think Clyde lost it, and then you had to take a sort of evasive action, and then Michael, who I think with his fresher tires just had a better exit.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's bad luck, because it would have been really something to try to see if you could actually keep him behind you on the older tires. So
Yeah,
for us,
actually,
it was a bit of a shame. So
I had really good exits out of the last corner, so on the straight it was quite possible to keep him behind, but he could really brake so much later into the corners, and I think at some time he would have just bend it and then go through, but I would have tried it anyway. So, but yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, but still happy with P2.
yeah, for us it was a really nice race to look at, because it was so interesting with all the strategies that were employed, and then just trying. I mean, already I thought because we at first we thought, okay, Michael's just gonna run away with it, and he's on a really light fuel load, and the people behind him are just or he's on a really low fuel load, and you're on and I thought the people behind him were on a really high one, and then you just kept up, and then managed to actually get back into his slipstream, and then we had a really fun battle until halfway, until he made his pit stop as well. And then I saw you in that lap when he was just into the pit. I saw you almost drifting a bit sometimes in corners, where like, okay, he's now really trying to push to make up some time.
Yeah, I was thinking about what he was doing actually, but he might have gone the same strategy as me, but I think no one did that strategy except me in Spa and here. So but it worked out pretty well in both races. So yeah.
Yeah, nice one. Now, amazing racing, Marius. So really good fun. I think also for the people watching, it's been really enjoyable. So how are you looking forward to Laguna Seca, or is that perhaps not your favorite? It's not a favorite for a lot of people, I think.
I
It's just
like the
too much,
track, but I don't think it's a track for the Aston. But Imola was absolutely the favorite track for me on this calendar. So, yeah, I was looking forward to to get a podium here, and yeah, finally,
Okay.
I did it.
Yeah, see you then in 2 weeks' time, and thanks a lot, and congratulations again on P2.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Martin.
Hi.
I think there was a third place, right? In the
Yes.
So how did your race go? Because yeah, you were not as visible, I think, in the race, unfortunately, as the some of the other guys.
Oh, it was a bit of a lonely race. I couldn't keep up with the three in front, actually, with the Honda and the Audi at the beginning there. So I lost I think one place at the beginning, but they were running the high fuel load, so they were really slow on the straight, so could get by them there. And then I had a little incident with the Ferrari. I felt like I gave him enough room, but I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I just felt the small.
But it was in the second corner, right? So I think because you went too wide, and then I think it's net code as well, and you're on the braking limit, and then he just got hit on the front right, and that just spun him around.
Yeah, I think he hit me in the side or something, a small bump, and then I saw he was spun around, so that was a bit unfortunate. But
yeah, it was Clyde.
After that, it was lonely, just driving on my own, so doing a bit of safe mode, just making sure I'm not making any drive-through. But I have to say, after hearing Marius running with high fuel, that was some impressive pace with the.
No, I think he was half fuel as well. So he did a half fuel. He only pitted for extra fuel, or did not 90. So he pitted for extra fuel. But he didn't do tires.
That's a strange one. Yeah.
So that's how he sort of, because then he had a bit lighter car to drive a bit faster with, and then still sort of keep the same tire life as the people doing a really long stint on really high fuel.
Yeah.
So interesting strategy, because it was different. There were like three different strategies that people did like that.
But like I said, lonely race, just pretty much driving on my own, and I felt like pretty safe. I would jump the guys on the heavy fuel strategy. So so I did. So not much to say.
Yeah. And looking forward then to Laguna Seca in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a really nice track, but like Mario says, maybe not the best for the Aston, but let's see.
Yeah, well, let's see indeed then. So thanks a lot then, Martin, and again, congratulations on number 3.
Thank you.
Okay. So with that, I think we conclude the race for Tier 1 on Imola this evening, and congratulations to all our winners. Thanks to Ryan and Chris for helping out on this broadcast. It's been a lot of fun again, and wish you all a good night.